Thank you, everybody, for coming to the Aaron Torres Podcast YouTube page. If you could do me a quick favor, see that little subscribe button at the bottom of your screen? Go ahead, click that subscribe button. Really does help our channel grow, our audience grow, and I really do appreciate it more than you know. So click that subscribe button. Appreciate your support. Now, here's the video that you came here for. Cade Tyson, one of the best players left in the transfer portal, 6'8" forward from Belmont. Right before we got on air, he committed to the North Carolina Tar Heels. Credit to Hubert Davis. Credit to him for getting it done. By the way, as you can see on the bottom ticker, if you are not following our CBB Transfers Twitter page, make sure to do so at CBB Transfers. Also, CBB Transfers on Instagram. We just started the account about a week ago. Appreciate you following there if you're not already. So Cade Tyson, who is he? As I said, forward, 6'8", played the last 2 years at Belmont. Okay. First off, very high priority kid. Some of these mid-major kids come in, big stats. How good are they really? Blah, 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 this and that. He was basically down to North Carolina and Tennessee from the beginning. If Rick Barnes wants you, if North Carolina and Hubert Davis want you, it means that you're a good ball player. And he absolutely is. Averaged 16 points per game, 6 boards. This is the key stat. 46.5% shooting from three. So you talk about an elite three-point shooter that is going to step in right away at North Carolina and have an impact. I love who he is. I love how he fits, and I love what he brings to the Tar Heels. For North Carolina, this has been a couple weeks where you got about as good a news as you possibly could have. The big news, of course, was just a few days ago, RJ Davis. I don't know if he ever even has officially announced it yet, but it has basically been at least insinuated, maybe it's been announced at this point, that he is coming back. 21 points per game, 40% shooting from three. And this isn't to mean anybody, but when you shoot 40% from three in the ACC, you're cut from a different cloth, dude. So he's a little bit of a smaller guard. He is a guy that didn't have great NBA prospects, so he had the COVID year. It kind of made sense for him to consider coming back. So I don't know what else there is to say other than that, big win for North Carolina. You're bringing back an All-American. But at the guard position, Elliot Cadeau got some meaningful experience this past year as a true freshman, reclassified. I know North Carolina fans, you want him to shoot a little bit better, all this. I get that. I'm not criticizing you. But at the same time, as a true freshman reclassified, averaged 7.5 points, 4 assists per game as a freshman this year, playing 23 minutes a game. Would expect those numbers to increase. Ian Jackson's kind of a combo guard from New York, headed to North Carolina. I mean, that is a nasty 4 of Elliot Cadeau, Ian Jackson, Cade Tyson, who I just mentioned, and RJ Davis. That is a very talented group that I think is going to be able to put up points, and I think they are going to be able to play the system that that Hubert Davis wants, get up and down, score a lot. The defense was much better this year. And I'll tell you this, I think North Carolina is still probably one piece away, but I really like this team. I did my updated top 10 last week. North Carolina was not in it. It was right before RJ Davis came back. But you get RJ Davis, you get Cade Tyson, and you add another big. I think they're waiting maybe to see if any other bigs enter the portal. I think they're looking for one more kind of true center type 5 guy. I've heard some names. I don't want to speculate. I don't want to. One thing I'll never do on this show, I'll never start just throwing out names that aren't in the portal. But I know they're waiting on a guy or two over these next probably 72 hours as the portal gets set to close. So they still need a center. But you look at the guys that they have. Elliot Cadeau at point. Ian Jackson off the ball. RJ Davis, a 21 point per game scorer. Now you add Cade Tyson to this. I love everything about this, and I love everything in how they are going to play. What I also like, and by the way, I haven't even mentioned Drake Powell, McDonald's All-American, who's really good from Carolina as well. And what I really like, I give Hubert Davis credit for this, right, is, the North Carolina under Roy Williams, I get it was a different era, whatever, but I just bring it up to very simply say that with North Carolina, in the previous regime, in the previous era, Roy Williams was much different. Played the 2 big guys. Hubert Davis has gone away from it, plays the stretch 4 that can hit threes. We've seen it with Brady Manick. Didn't really work out with Pete Nance, but you get the point. This year, Cormac Ryan was kind of that 3-ish guy, Harrison Ingram, etc. But 2, on top of that, now you have Cade Tyson to play that role. But what I also like about this North Carolina team is Hubert Davis has found a nice balance of recruiting those McDonald's All-Americans, but also bringing in the veteran guys and keeping veteran guys in his system. Listen, that's the key. There's no secret to this stuff. You need really good talent, but it's really hard year over year over year to bring in 8, 9 new guys. This is what Kentucky has struggled with for the last, 6, 7 years. I think I saw a quote from John Calipari where he says, I probably should have started over about 5 years ago, and left Kentucky, but neither here nor there. But I bring it up. It's really hard. And so who are the teams that have had success? UConn at the highest level. What have they done? They are a team that had veterans that have developed in the system. They've used the portal. They've used freshmen. This year, UConn had Steph Castle, McDonald's All-American, Cam Spencer transfer. But the foundation of the program was built on guys that have been in the program. Same with some of the other schools that have had success. Illinois this year returned a lot, added a portal guy or 2 to supplement the guys that they already had. North Carolina did a good job this year. But I just give them credit because I do think whether it's through the portal, high school ranks, whatever, really, really, really hard to win if you're flipping over your roster every year. Carolina now, think about next year's team. Elliot Cadeau, experience. RJ Davis, obviously experience from this year's team. You got a couple other guys. Seth Trimble pulled his name out of the portal a few days ago. He's back. There's a couple other bench guys that are back as well. But now you add 2 McDonald's All-Americans. You add Ian Jackson, who I think is going to be a star at Carolina. You add Drake Powell, who I think is going to be a star at Carolina. Almost said Drake May, who's also a Tar Heel, but that's not the applicable thing here. You add those guys, but then also on top of that, you're adding high-level transfer guys. Cade Tyson, 6'7", 47% from 3, fits in about as perfectly as you can.